And the gopis are Krishna's property. They exist, they live only for the pleasure of Lord Sri Krishna. They are his devotees. In the same way, we are also aspiring to be devotees of Krishna. We are also aspiring to make our lives exclusively the property of Krishna. But Sankasura comes in so many forms to try to take us away from Krishna. And sometimes, like this mighty demon, this demon was more powerful than the gopis. He was forcing them away. Similarly, sometimes the forces of material energy are trying to take us away from Krishna. Sometimes other people who call themselves our friends are trying to drag us away from Krishna. Sometimes the objects of the senses, the propaganda of material advertising, is diverting our attention away from Krishna. Sometimes the objects of the senses, they're tearing our minds away from Krishna. We want to be enjoyed by Krishna. We're Krishna's property. Why we are being taken away? Forces are always trying to take us away. So the gopis, in this predicament, they began to call out Krishna and Balaram's holy names. Please save us. Krishna, Balaram, they began to call out. In the same way, when our own mind and senses and the various agents of this demoniac energy of Kali Yuga try to divert our attention and take it away from Krishna, we must call out his holy name.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Because Krishna, he's not different than his names. And not only that, as the Paramatma, he is situated in everyone's heart. And when we call his name, he hears. And he always comes to the rescue of his sincere devotion. So Krishna and Balaram, they picked up logs and they began to run after Sankasura. And Sankasura was leading the gopis farther in the northern direction in the forest. So when he saw Krishna and Balaram running very fast with logs in their hands, he realized that they are very strong and they are certain to destroy me. So he left the gopis behind and he ran away for his life. But Krishna wanted to liberate him from his false pride. So Krishna entrusted Balaram with the care of the gopis, and Krishna began to run after Sankasura. And ultimately, Krishna is faster than the fastest. How can anyone escape from Krishna? We try, but it is not possible. Sometimes we try to hide from Krishna. Sometimes we try to run from Krishna. But you cannot, because Krishna happens to be situated in between every atom. Where are you going to go to escape? Where will you go where there are no atoms? Krishna is everywhere through his various energies. So he was running from Krishna, and Krishna ran, and he caught up with him, and with his fist he smashed this demon's head, and Sankasura fell to the ground dead. Hero! And then Krishna took with his own hands the conch shell shaped jewel, and he went back and he presented it to Balaram in the presence of all of the gopis, and everyone was very happy. same way, if we call for Krishna's help, we should know that He will liberate us. He will liberate us from this demon of pride and exploitation within our hearts. He will protect us. The soul, which is His own personal property, eternally His devotee, will be reclaimed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is our aspiration. So unless we understand very clearly the nature of the world we live in, we are certain to be deluded by its potencies. That is why the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita is very essential to understand. There is no question of coming to any higher levels of consciousness unless we learn to control our mind and control our senses. And there's no impetus to do that unless we understand the nature of this temporary existence. The Pandavas were outnumbered by the Kurus on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And similarly, devotees will always be outnumbered by materialistic people in this world. But unless we understand from Krishna how to take shelter of Him and why to take shelter of Him, we will certainly be defeated. It doesn't take any endeavor to be defeated in this material world. To just be a servant of the mind and senses takes no effort at all. To fulfill the mind and the senses' desires, you have to work like an ass and endure so much frustration. But the principle of accepting servitude is natural in the conditioned state. We have to fight. We have to fight our animalistic propensities. And Krishna explains in Gita, without such fight, there is no as real yoga. We have to be willing to be detached. What does detachment mean? In Krishna's Leela, Krishna once visited the holy place of Mithila, Videha. Has anyone ever been to Mithila? Raise your hand if you have been. It's called Janakpur. It's just north of Bihar. You have been? Huh? Yes, it is in southeastern Nepal. It's a really holy place. It is the birthplace of Sita, the place where Ram broke the bow of Sita, the place of the marriage of Sita and Ram, the place of the whole long dynasty of Maharajas coming down from Nimi. I lived there in 1972. It's kind of strange. I was born in America and I lived there in 1972. And all of you from India have never been there. And it happens to be one of the most auspicious holy places in India. Anyway, it's a beautiful place. But Krishna went there. Krishna went there about 5,000 years ago. And when he arrived, two of his devotees greeted him. In fact, he went there just to meet his devotees. One was a king. His name was Bahulashva. And the other was a very poor, gentle Brahmin of the name Shrutadev. And they both came to the outskirts of the town. And Krishna came with so many great saints and rishis along with him And they both fell at his feet and worshipped him, and they both begged him, please come to our homes. So for Krishna, there is no problem in satisfying everyone. We are jivatmas. We have difficulty satisfying anyone, or to speak of everyone. If two people expect something of us, we have to do something for one person and offend another person. Even in spiritual life, sometimes we're in this dilemma. To make one person happy, I have to offend someone else. But if I make that person happy, I offend the other. Or at least make them feel bad. Devotees naturally want to make everyone happy. But we simply cannot. If you become a devotee, sometimes relatives, friends, they are very unhappy. Why you are doing this? Why you are a bhakta? You should be a bhokta. So if you try to be a bhokta, then the bhaktas are very offended. Why are you a bhokta? You should be a bhakta. So what to do? You can please some of the people some of the time. You can never please all the people all of the time. But Krishna can please everyone at all times, if he so desires. So he expanded himself into two forms. And he went to Shutadev the Brahmin's house, and he went to Bahulasva the king's house. But the amazing thing is each one of them thought that he has only come to my house. He's nowhere else. He's only with me. He loves me so much. He only loves me. Krishna did the same thing with gopis during Ras Leela. Each gopi was thinking, Krishna's dancing. Of all these gopis, he's chosen me. Such love. And in Dwarka, when Krishna was living in 16,108 palaces with 16,108 queens, each one was thinking that Krishna's only with me. All the other 16,107 queens are just waiting for Krishna, but he's with me, and he never leaves me. But actually, he was with all of them, simultaneously. How is this possible? Because he's Krishna. Because he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's unlimited in his potencies and his opulences. He has achintya, inconceivable Shakti, or energies. In the same way, Krishna went to both of their homes, and Bahulashva brought him into his beautiful royal palace, and gave Krishna and the great saints and sages very luxurious sitting places, sumptuous feasts of prasad, and playing wonderful musical instruments. And the king washed his feet and sprinkled the water on the heads of all of the family members and began to give gifts to Krishna and the sages. He was giving beautiful jewelry and cows and precious cloths. In this way he completely satisfied Krishna and his devotees by his knowledge. And meanwhile, Shutadev, he just lived in a little hut. He was a very poor Brahmin. He was satisfied. He was grihastha, but he was just satisfied with whatever would come of its own accord. He was never greedy. So his wife cooked some rice, and he went and he picked some nice flowers, and he offered it to Krishna. And he didn't have so many entertainers, so he danced in front of Krishna and waved his cloth around. And he massaged Krishna's feet and washed his feet and sprinkled the water on the heads of himself and his family members. And Krishna was equally pleased with both of them. They both offered such heartfelt, genuine, and sincere prayers. And the moral to this story is Krishna is not concerned with what you have or how much you have. Nor is he concerned with how much you don't have. Whether you're a king living in a palace, or whether you're very simple, barely subsisting on the basic necessities of life. Patram pushpam balam toyam yogi bhakta. If you serve Krishna with love, he is satisfied. It is his only concern. The quality of our love, the quality of our devotion. So we must learn to revive our real spiritual nature. We must be willing to fight against infatuation, pride, and endless longings for our own personal interests. We must learn how to come to the pure state of consciousness, or Krishna consciousness. That is the meaning of human life. And to the degree people are aspiring in this direction, we are living in a civilization. However beautiful our clothes and our cars and our scientific technology is, if we are not pursuing the purification of our consciousness and self-realization, we are living in an uncivilized world. So Bhagavad Gita is giving us very important, essential information on how to live in this world and make real progress toward real happiness, toward the transcendental bliss that the soul is longing for. And when we come together like we are tonight to hear topics of the absolute truth, when we live pure lives, no intoxication, no unnecessary slaughter of animals to eat their flesh, no gambling, no illicit relationships with the opposite sex. When we live by these basic codes of morality, we associate with devotees, and we take the cleansing process, the supremest cleansing process, chanting Krishna's names and hearing Krishna's glories, then we become truly civilized. Then we are making real progress in our life. And this is the greatest need, individually and collectively. So we are very grateful to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, this evening, for coming and joining us. It is the most important aspect of our life. Do not take it as a fashion. Do not take it as just another form of entertainment. Coming to the satsang of devotees, to hear and chant the glories of the Lord and take Krishna's prasad is the supreme-most function and responsibility of every human being. And without this, we can progress to nothing more than sophisticated animals in our life. Thank you very much.
Put our hands this way, thinking completely on a helplessness, we have to pray to it. That how Krishna is only our shelter. And Maharaj is now saying, we have to put our hands up. The right hand side, we have to put on the left hand side. Right leg is the left hand side, left leg is the right hand side.
Ananda Vrindavan is stressing the idea of helplessness because he's working in the stock exchange throughout the day. So by the end of the day, he just throws his hands up in the air helplessly. Knowing that only Krishna can save him. Correct? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.